to kind of go back though, Epic Store, right? Look
Yeah.
at it this way from the developer's perspective.
Yeah.
If they had, like you said, a Kickstarter like wing, like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
bring your idea, sell it to your fans, you know, get your backer money to develop your game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then boom, your game's done. Put it on our store, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, hey, we've also alleviated that problem of all the people who paid the $40 already getting a free copy because they're already in the system. They're already through the Epic Games Store because we've added the funding up front.
Mm-hmm.
We're already able to distribute and give away the free keys or whatever other things that you've promised through the logistics that we can offer.
Yeah.
That's top to bottom right there. That makes them very strong.
Yeah. Sorry, the wire is just in the way.
Well, I don't
it's,
have much room to. It's going to have to be that way.
it's fine. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, that was the end of the idea that they're going to offer a top to bottom solution if they had the crowdfunding option, right?
Yeah.
So like, hey, got your money, got your people backing you. Cool. Made the game. Now it's on the Epic Games Store. We're still partnering there. So not only did we get a small cut of the fundraising, not only do we get a small cut of the of the sales, but also we've made it more convenient for the consumer to be both funder and consumer simultaneously.
Oh, yeah.
Because they already are in the system.
Definitely.
We handle all that back end
Yeah,
stuff.
and this is just me taking 2 minutes to solve that stupid issue that Steam has always had. It's just like, it's so saturated with crap now. And you know, they try to put the gate up and like go through like a review process, which was closer to the solution, right? For them to open all gates and let everything in devalues their market, in my opinion, right? There's no curation going on. And there's just a lot of crap and a lot of like terrible games, not just in terms of gameplay, but in terms of content. And yeah, it is hard to kind of subject to that, right? Because it's very subjective, right? Whoever's reviewing has a preference and whatever. Sure, I understand that standpoint, but 80 to 90% of games on Steam is turning to crap now, especially with AAA developers kind of pulling out. It's becoming a problem.
It feels reminiscent of like what I'd say the iTunes store is for games right now, where you still have like quality titles there. You still have a lot of fun stuff worth discovering and playing. But if Apple themselves didn't curate it in a special way, if it's like maybe 3 months outside of its primary release and not getting that attention, but still like a polished game, like a gem, it's diamond in the rough. Because man, if you're not within 2 to 3 clicks away from like the top of the genre category that you're in, ain't gonna be found, man.
Right.
I'm not. No one's gonna click 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages in and filter through all like a bunch of like crappy games to find like, oh, there's that game that was forgotten about.
Right. So like I imagine a platform, because they had like the Steam Greenlight thing before, right? Where it's like popular opinions, basically. If you have a audience, they would upvote your game to get into the store. That was closer to me to achieving, like making sure great content gets into the store. A step above that would be get your game funded. And once your game funded, it gets to be on the store. I mean, that's a step above where it feels like, you know, it's going to be good for Valve, right? Because the game that is getting funded, they get a percentage of that for the game to be made. But also when it sells, you know, maybe they can work out a deal and get a sales of the cut. Maybe it's all in one thing. But that's just them. That's just being competitive and like, how can I make this experience better for consumers and developers? And they just completely skip that and like, you know, we're getting money no matter what. Let's just let them fight it out. And whoever's a victor, you know, we still achieve from the low side of like shitty games, but also on the high side, because our 30% cut will add, even if it's like 1,000 shitty games and they only make $5, we get 30% of that. And that adds up for us. And they just backed away from that. It's like, that's fine. We win either way.
Plus, there's also an opportunity where because of repeat business, you can make the cost of each opportunity to do business lower. So the developer feels that as like, wow, to break that example down, okay, you fund through us, we're going to take 5% cut of all revenue that you bring in. Cool. You also put on our store, instead of the normal 12%, maybe we take 8%. You know what I mean? But then the combining of the cut that they take from the funding and then the cut that they take from the sale could total up to more than what they would have gotten had they charged more for just doing the sale and not been included in the funding. Also, from the developer's perspective, if both of those numbers are lower than the competitive market, like if I were to go to Kickstarter for a funding platform and your number is lower than Kickstarter, then I go to your store to actually sell because your number is lower than Steam, that actually feels like a double win. They're like, wow, both of these are actually lower than what I would have done elsewhere, so I'm going to go to Epic. So therefore, Epic has now lowered the barrier a little bit because they're combining the two opportunities to sell to you into one platform, into one product, even though both together is better than each one individually would have been, I guess is what I'm saying.
The advantage that Epic has is right now is that they have to select your game to be on the store.
Yeah.
And
you got to look good. You got to be buttoned up to get noticed by Senpai.
Exactly. So what is happening is that you go into the Epic store, it's just all great games. Mm-hmm. And I hope they keep that.
Yeah.
Because
everything made the cut.
Everything is made to cut. They have to keep that standard up because the quality over quantity. Yeah. That's the business right now.
That's what's been missing.
Yes.
So if they stay that way, I mean, they
have to stay that way. Yeah.
I would say, sure, you might be cutting off revenue, right? Because let's be honest. Steam having hundreds of thousands of games available. Yeah. Sure. Top to bottom, who cares?
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of revenue that's generating.
Of course.
Where if Epic was like, look, we're going to stay committed to making sure we have finely curated content, that means there's a lot of content that they are not going to have. So there's a lot of revenue that they're not going to get a piece of. But from the consumer's user experience, I think that's always... that's always going to be in their favor. Yeah. It's like, cool. I know that when I go to the Epic store, like you said, it's always going to be cream of the crop quality content that's provided. I only have 2 to 3 pages to click through max.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Versus chapters and epilogues of content that I'm going to scroll and scroll.
I go to the Steam store and it's just overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And unless I know what I'm getting and trying to search for, which used to be like big AAA games, which isn't anymore the case, right? Everyone's pulling out. I can't imagine 2 years down the line, like what am I searching for?
Yeah.
I'm going to be faced with games I never heard of that 99% of it's crap because there's no curation going. And I know they have like a curated way to do things where that you follow. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be Facebook if you're not gonna put Facebook effort into it.
Yeah.
Or Twitter effort into whatever the kids are doing nowadays. Twitter is more popular now. But like if I'm gonna follow a curator, right, and add that social aspect to the Steam, in which they try to do, it needs to have more than face value, right? It needs to be way deep because you go beyond that layer of you having because the friends list is a separate list, and then you go on the Steam page and there's people that you follow, and you click on those people. It's just it's not as simple as it could be, right? If I go to the Steam page and they kind of have that where if you have people you follow, it's kind of personalized to the curated content. But the games that you see at first are just games you never heard of, and there's no Valve recommends stuff.
It's the best deal games. Like, wow,
it's the best deal
30% off of Hinokoniya number 17.
Yeah, and not to hate on Walmart, but I'm feeling it's feeling cheap, dude. You know what I mean? I'm walking into a Walmart store versus a Target, right? And it just shows the lack of care, and it's just more about maintenance. And let's be honest, Valve is a really small company, right? They don't have the resources to make games and tend to the store.
I'll say they haven't committed to getting the resources.
Yeah,
they can do it. You know what I mean?
They can do it, but maybe this is kicking them in the butt to make them realize they're fucking number one resources under fire right now. And yes, they still have the lead by far. It's not even close, right? But they're losing a lot of steam.